must go to get all cleaned up and put away.
Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. Hello, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Beautiful. Good afternoon. Well, thanks for jumping on, guys. So we're not new here, right? Our viewers have seen you guys before. I'm so glad you get to join us today. Today, we're talking about Medi-Cal. So I feel like we do this once a year so far. I feel like for the last couple of years, we've had kind of the same topic. Let's talk about some upcoming changes because everybody's already asking us, right? And yeah, so Lisa, Vinny, how are you guys doing today? I know you guys are busy. Do you have any fun holiday plans coming up or what?
The weather, I'll just have to say, has been amazing. This last week down here in Southern California, it's like, really, are we in mid-December or not? It's just, I feel like I just am enjoying the weather. It's been, I think, 86 yesterday. So
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you guys know how cold it is up here in the Bay Area in Sacramento?
No.
It's not 86, maybe 68.
It's record breaking. It's been the coldest December we've had in over 100 years.
Wow.
It is a high today of I think 46 or 47.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a different world up here compared to SoCal. Like what the heck? Wild.
So my plans are working on my tan for the holiday.
Love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry, I gotta bring this up and then take this 10 seconds away. Why is it doing that? All right, hang on. There's a new little feature here. Turn off. There we go. Okay, upcoming Medi-Cal changes. Sorry, I was like, why did that disappear? It was set on a timer. That's a new feature. Welcome to everybody who's jumping on. So Lisa, Vinny, we are streaming on both Facebook and to YouTube right now. So we will have some people coming on from both areas. We do have a comment section. I don't know if you can see the comment section, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it so that it'll populate on the right side of your screen. And then we will be bringing them to the screen and pinning them. So you'll see every comment that comes through. So for those few people who are here already, please let us know that you can hear us okay, see us okay, if you're excited to talk about Medi-Cal. And of course, if you have any other questions going on, things going on in your life, you're welcome to share with us in the comments section. If you have a young one with autism or special needs that you want to chat about, or maybe an elderly parent who's going through those Medi-Cal struggles right now, it can be very complicated and confusing. These are all the things we want to talk about and help with you today. So we do have some pre-prepared questions of just kind of some common questions we've gotten and that we've come across online that may strike a chord with some of you who are watching today. And so while we wait for some comments to come through, Lisa, do we want to go ahead and just maybe jump in? Do you have anything particular you want to start us off with maybe upcoming changes for people that they can expect, or do we want to go right into some of our questions that we have lined up?
Yeah, no, actually, I'd like to make a couple comments that I think will be really helpful for individuals who are married. Honestly, right now is the best opportune time to qualify for Medi-Cal. If you are married and either you or your spouse are needing help, they're either determined disabled by Social Security, receiving Medicare, or this is who I'm talking about, or they're 65 and older, and they need some type of help. Doesn't have to be major help, but they need some type of help, with their ADLs. Right now, this month of December is the ultimate time to get and apply for Medi-Cal. And the reason I'm saying that is because right now, as you probably know, January 1st, asset limits are being reinstated. So at this time, there are no asset limits. And so no matter what your assets are, no matter what your assets are, if you're married and your spouse needs help, you need to contact me immediately so we can get you on. Your assets will be not counted. And then after your spouse is approved and we go into the new year when assets are reinstated, your assets will continue to be not counted. It's a rule through the spousal impoverishment provisions. And married couples who need help definitely should be jumping on that and taking advantage of that opportunity. So yeah.
That's great. I think that's really helpful information. Hopefully that any married folk today in the comment section, let us know if that is helpful for you at all right now. Still very interesting. I think, sorry, I'm delayed on my side. I'm trying to pull up my questions again. It disappeared. Okay, here we go. All right. So in in regards to a lot of the people that follow us, Lisa, here on Facebook and work with us as clients, we work with a lot of families who have children on the waiver, children who are a part of the regional center where maybe their income is too high, so they're on the waiver. That's how they get their IHSS through their institutionally deemed waiver that they get, which gets them Medi-Cal. So we do get a lot of questions from people who ask, with these upcoming changes, do these families have anything to worry about with their child having the waiver already approved through the regional center? Will the changes that we see affect that in any way that you're aware of?
So first of all, I want to talk about the waivers. You know, some people are not familiar with that term. So let's kind of describe what that is, just for those who are listening that may be not understanding what that is. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Caleb.
Sure, I can tap on that briefly.
And
so
what
I'm referring
what the waiver does.
Yeah, for sure. So we really only use it for one thing, and that is to get Medi-Cal for our clients, right? But the waiver that we're referring to, for those who are not familiar, is the institutional deeming waiver. That is something that you can get through through regional center if your child or loved one is a client of the regional center. And so this waiver, what we typically use it for, and Lisa, you might be able to elaborate more in depth on some of the other services, but it is capable of putting a shield over your household income if your income is too high, if it's above that threshold for Medi-Cal, right? So if you are a family of 4 and you make $100,000 a year, you've got a child with autism, but they're a client of the regional center. If your income is too high for Medi-Cal, but they need things like IHSS, they need things like Medi-Cal. If they're a client of the regional center can provide the waiver, this institutional deeming waiver, aka the Medi-Cal waiver. That's what most people call it, and that'll prevent the denial from keeping that child. So from off of Medi-Cal. So the household will be denied Medi-Cal, but the waiver allows the child to continue to receive Medi-Cal moving forward. Did I miss anything, Lisa?
Yeah, I think just one thing that I think is really important is that the waiver does not shield the child's income. It's only it's just the parents or anyone else in the household that's in their household. And your household is basically your tax household. In this particular case, we're talking about Magi Medi-Cal. And I think that's another point to make for those who are listening, is that there are 3 types of Medi-Cal. So before you try to apply any of the rules or the things you're hearing, you need to understand which type of Medi-Cal your child or your loved one, whoever, is being aided under. Okay. And you can tell that by finding out the aid code. Okay. And you can get your aid code from the Medi-Cal office. They can tell you over the phone what your aid code is. And that aid code, you can actually look it up online and it'll tell you what your aid code is. And that'll tell you also if you're Magi Medi-Cal, non-Magi, traditional Medi-Cal, or SSI Medi-Cal.
Perfect. All right. Sorry, Lisa. I'm doing some damage control in the comments here, making sure that we're lined up. So thank you for clarifying that. It's amazing how a lot of regional centers don't even really understand the process of the waiver. That's kind of another topic, different time. But for those who are questioning on whether or not the waiver, there's going to be any changes there, you don't have anything to worry about if going into this upcoming year. So if you've got a little one who's a client of the regional center and they receive Medi-Cal through that waiver, through regional center, you should be okay. Right, Vinny?
That is correct. That is correct.
Cool. All right. So I did pin in the comments, everybody. If you're looking to get help with Medi-Cal services, I am going to link Lisa and Vinny's website here, medihelper.com. Vinny, do you want to share a little bit about what it is that you and Lisa do? We talk about you guys a lot on this page whenever we do get a lot of Medi-Cal questions. So do you want to share a little bit about your guys' work, your history, your experience with Medi-Cal, and see how you might be able to maybe connect with some of our clients or some of the viewers here today?
Sure. We've been pretty established. We've been doing this for over 2 decades. We help many families come up with strategies for how they want to, what services they need, what's their care journey, what's that going to involve over a long period of time, and really try to advocate for the client to get those services in place through Medi-Cal. Medi-Cal is a program that's probably one of the best in the nation, even though it is Medicaid, but it's Medicaid on steroids, the California version of it. I think it's an awesome healthcare system, offers a wide variety of services to support individuals. Our role is to make sure that we profile a client, get them in the system, and really try to make whatever their end objective is for those services, make that happen. And one of our biggest things is we make eligibility happen. We really take a long time to assess people's financial circumstances, health circumstances, what's going on, and we really plan that out. We strategize with them, and make it happen. So
we offer a free assessment on our website. If you're interested in how Medi-Cal would relate to you and your situation or a loved one, go to our website, medihelper.com. That's MEDI helper.com. And I believe it's in the comment section. And you can fill out a free Medi-Cal assessment right there. You'll be scheduled for a free consultation. We'll review your situation and help you understand how it relates to Medi-Cal. And then we'll also help you understand all the amazing programs that Medi-Cal has to offer. Like Vinny was saying, it's like healthcare on steroids. We have a YouTube channel that you can go to, and there's a lot of videos there. Subscribe, because we're getting ready to upload some new ones. But there's one that's 18 minutes and 3 seconds, and it'll blow your mind. It tells you about the 3 different types of Medi-Cal that I explained earlier. And then it lays it out on how they work. And it explains all the amazing programs that are available to help you, including the IHSS program that Galt Advocacy is just infamous for being just experts at. So,
well, thank you, Lisa, and thank you for that breakdown as well. We've never had a bad thing to say about you guys, and so to those of you who have been around our page a lot over the last several years. Lisa and Vinny are both good friends to Galt Advocacy, and they've known Myra Galt, my mother, for a long time. And so any Medi-Cal related challenge or question that you have, we will say it 10 times over, go check them out. Go give them a call, get that free consultation. It can be a wonderful, wonderful experience for you if you need help with that.
It could be
yeah,
could be.
Right now for this month of December, today being December 12th, until the end of the year, asset limits have been eliminated. So everybody in the state of California who's 65 years of age or older or on Medicare at any age is eligible to Medi-Cal, period. Mm-hmm. There's no asset limits. There's no income limits. There's no immigration limits. So right now is the time to put your application in before the end of this year.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good point. I think we should definitely touch on that. There is a quick question here from Maria. She says, my son has Medi-Cal as a secondary because his dad provides Kaiser as his employment insurance. Can you speak more about what Medi-Cal coverage he has?
So with any other insurance you have, Medi-Cal always becomes secondary. It's like it's where everything goes that insurance doesn't cover, basically. So Kaiser is the primary, and their services are billed first. And then the things that they don't cover, then they roll on down, and Medi-Cal can pick those things up. Like, at the pharmacy, if Kaiser says you've got a $5 copay, when you go to see the doctor there or what have you, you give them your Medi-Cal card. Now, the important thing is to know is, do you have a zero share of cost Medi-Cal, or do you have a share of cost? And I'm going to assume, since it's her son, he's a minor, and he's probably under the Magi Medi-Cal program, which all Magi Medi-Cal has zero share cost.
That's good to know. That's really good to know because I get that question a lot too. What the share of cost even is, and so we go over that every single time you come on. But share of cost, from what we've gathered, just to quickly nip this one because I know we really want to focus on some upcoming changes for people this year. But for those who haven't asked it yet, we know you're going to. So a share of cost is going to be like a deductible. Now, this is my explanation of it. But Lisa, do you want to just quickly, briefly explain to people what a share of cost might be and how they can figure out if they have it or not? And maybe some brief stuff aside from calling for you, because if they do have it, they need to call you, right? But how do they find out that they do even have one?
So share of cost is basically your cost of the care. And it's like a deductible, like your car insurance. You have a $500 deductible. You get in a car accident, you have to pay that $500, and then the insurance company pays the rest. If you're not having an accident, you don't pay the deductible. Same thing. Share of cost is a monthly obligation. And any month you need Medi-Cal to cover anything that you have a share of cost, then you have to pay that share of cost first, and then Medi-Cal will pick up the remainder. And that's only in the months that you need Medi-Cal. If you don't use Medi-Cal in a month, you don't have to pay it.
Beautiful. And for those who don't know, that will affect your IHSS pay in a sense. And so if you have some questions about that, let us know. And we're happy to share with you some ideas, especially Lisa here.
One thought on that, Caleb, that I should have mentioned is, Medi-Cal Consulting Services, we are share cost strategists. So if you have a share of cost, we can help you understand how to eliminate it. And that's important, especially with IHSS. So.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen some crazy share of costs. I think that probably the highest one that I've seen, it was something like $2,500 a month.
Oh, I've seen them like 4,000 and more, and we've got them eliminated.
Yeah, that's amazing.
People have come to us with $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 shares of cost, and we look at the situation, we analyze it, we lay out, oh yeah, we can take care of that. You can get a zero share cost, and they're amazed. So, and it's unfortunate that that the Medi-Cal office isn't offering the expertise and the help that they should be. But you know what? There's lack of training, lack of accountability.
Yep.
And sometimes a lack of compassion. So it's unfortunate, but Medi-Cal Consulting Services is here to help people navigate through this Medi-Cal maze.
Absolutely. And so if you guys have a challenge with that, please call Lisa and Vinny. They would be happy to help you. Okay, so with some questions here for you, Lisa and Vinny. One question. Oh, do I need to? Oh, yes. So a very common question that we get a lot is reapplying and getting recertified. So with these upcoming changes, is that changing at all, or do you want to tap into a little bit about maybe what people can expect to make sure they have Medi-Cal reoccurring approval? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we've been dealing with a lot of that type of similar question. And really, reality is the people in December will still be under the old rules. So if their redetermination for Medi-Cal is in this month, December of 2025, the old rules will apply. No asset limit test whatsoever. January 1st is the magic day when everything now converts to the new rules. Asset limits will be in play, and a lot of other rules that will be implemented into that. The interesting part of this is some of the regulations that they're going to govern some of the new policies in 26 haven't even been written yet. They're not even published. So we don't know the full extent of how this is all going to play out. But what we do know, we have been literally exhaustingly educating, talking to state officials, talking to state trainers, how they're training the workers. We're really plugged into how to manage this really, really well. One of the examples I can use is you really don't want to represent yourself in this new phase of change. And the reason why is it's like an IRS tax audit, right? You wouldn't go want to represent yourself in a tax audit. You want a tax professional who knows the codes, who knows how those
maybe
numbers
used to
make
work.
sense.
Maybe used to work for the IRS, and they know how you should be being treated.
Yeah.
All the loopholes.
So that
Yeah,
the
right.
same rationale applies to applying for Medi-Cal in 2026 as of January 1st, is that things are going to be looked at very strictly now. They're not going to be like they were pandemic, post-pandemic, even up to today, this month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They're all going to change. And it's all because of budget constraints, the amount of money for each program. And that's what really came into play by reinstating the new asset limits. So we caution everybody, when you do try to attempt it yourself, make sure that you're really confident in how to answer those questions, how to fill out the applications, really fully understand the magnitude of what Medi-Cal is requiring of you. Okay? Because those are all key for a successful eligibility grant. So it's really super important that you really understand those dynamics of what's going to happen in January. It really is. Can't emphasize that enough.
Love it. Love it. We do have a couple of questions here that I think would be good to go over. Let me kind of comb through them real quick. We'll start with Maricel. So Maricel is here every single week. So hello, Maricel. Thanks for coming back. So your question here, I have a daughter turning 18 years old this upcoming December. So happy early birthday. She has autism. She's nonverbal. My husband is the provider for, I just asked, and the signatory for the timesheet. I want to know if I discontinue to sign the timesheet starting in December. My daughter's 18 years old, and so we have this in conservatorship. Okay, so I don't quite understand your question. Maricel, do you want to maybe clarify a little bit for us? We come back to you. Jennifer, how many cars are allowed on Medi-Cal if a car loan can still qualify as Medi-Cal? Thanks.
So I can answer that, Caleb.
Sure.
So I'm understanding, I think, what she's asking. So basically, Medi-Cal exempts one vehicle. Okay. Now, if you have additional vehicles, it's important to understand how they're assessed according to Medi-Cal, because your vehicle may have zero value according to Medi-Cal. And, you know, a lot of new cars will have zero value because Medi-Cal takes into consideration what the encumbrances are. So.
Fair enough. Love it. That answers that. So thanks, Jennifer. Great question. Tonya, will it affect my daughter? She's a minor. She has non-Magi Medi-Cal with a DD waiver through Regional Center. So will it affect? I'm thinking, I'm guessing the question is, will the new change affect? Any new changes affect her?
Yeah, I'm not sure if her daughter has non-Magi or Magi Medi-Cal, but non-Magi Medi-Cal is the only type of Medi-Cal that's changing. Magi Medi-Cal and SSI Medi-Cal is not changing. Those rules are staying the same. It's just non-Magi Medi-Cal, where they're reinstating asset limits. So if in fact her daughter is on non-Magi Medi-Cal, and again, you can determine which Medi-Cal it is by looking at the aid code, then non-Magi Medi-Cal has the assets being reinstated. And if she's the only one in her household budget unit, and that's what you want to understand too, you know, who's all included. But of all those who are included, they're allowed 130,000 of countable resources starting January 1st. And then for each other member in that household budget unit, they can get $65,000 additionally of countable resources.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. We have two questions. We'll just kind of quick through in the comment section real quick, and then we can get back to some of the other questions that we might have. Adrianix, so Medi-Cal will pay for deductibles and co-insurance if I have Medi-Cal or medical for my daughter as a secondary, but the provider has to accept Medi-Cal in order for Medi-Cal to pay. Okay. Do we understand this?
So I think what she's saying is that she's her child has Medi-Cal, and she's confirming that Medi-Cal will pay co-insurances and deductibles, which is true if you have a zero share cost. If the provider doesn't accept Medi-Cal, then they obviously can't bill to get those deductibles and co-insurances paid. But it's my understanding that if they can't bill you for it either. So quick question on that. So a copay,
would have to be paid for if there is a share of cost.
Correct.
Gotcha. That was one thing I did not know.
Because you have to meet your share of cost before Medi-Cal is even going to consider anything.
Right. Interesting. Okay. So medical pay deductibles and co-insurance if I have medical for my daughter secondary. Okay. So yeah, Adriana, I hope that answers your question. Let us know if it did not for some reason, but thank you, Lisa, for clarifying. Okay, real quick, Christy, my daughter has Medi-Cal with me, but her dad, we are not married. He has private insurance through his job. Will this make me put on her insurance? So we have talked about this a little bit. So you can have a primary and a secondary, Christy. So in this case, Lisa, put me to the test here. So your daughter would then fall. The primary would be dad's insurance, whether that be Kaiser or Sutter or whatever he may have, and then the Medi-Cal, the full scope Medi-Cal, would be a secondary to her. Is that right?
Whether it was full scope or share cost Medi-Cal, Medi-Cal would be the last payer source. Beautiful. I mean, some people have 2, 3, 4 insurances. You know, it's crazy.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Medi-Cal is always the last payer source.
Okay. So, is there a question, since we have probably 15 minutes or so? Were there any questions that stood out on the list that we compiled that maybe you wanted to go over that you think would be important, or do you want me to surprise you with another one?
No, I can. We can respond to any of these really.
Okay.
So you said, like one question you had put on yours, do I need to reapply every year now, or is Medi-Cal automatic? No, Medi-Cal is not automatic. They were doing some auto renews for a while, but you have to recertify every time your redetermination comes up. And with the new beautiful bill, they're talking about changing the recertification periods from a year annual to 6 months for people who are Magi Medi-Cal.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't believe that starts till 2028.
Yeah, 2028, but they still haven't established any guidelines to that whatsoever. That is definitely actively be talking about. So that may be another change to look forward to here in the near future. But as of right now, it's still once a year, but it could be twice a year.
Okay, that's interesting. So we'll put a pin in that. You guys keep us posted, because if that does change, that's a big change.
It really is.
It's huge. It's huge.
So, all right. So we got another question here for you. I'm going to put it in here. This one is definitely talked about a lot on our page, especially with Nicole, and it might come up on Nicole's stream as well. I heard Medi-Cal for undocumented adults is ending. Is this true?
Yes and no.
Great answer. Moving on.
So, Medi-Cal is grandfathering in those who have status of what they call unsatisfactory immigration status. That's the term they're using. So if you have unsatisfactory immigration status and you're currently on Medi-Cal, you're going to be grandfathered in after the first of the year. Now, if you lose your benefits and you go to reapply, then you're going to end up with restricted benefits. Okay. And there's also limited Medi-Cal. And so starting the first of the year, unsatisfactory immigration status will go from full scope Medi-Cal to limited Medi-Cal. And then if you try to apply after the first, all you'll be eligible for is restricted Medi-Cal. So let me explain what those different types of Medi-Cal mean, because they're new. Restricted Medi-Cal has been around for a while. And restricted Medi-Cal is basically emergency-based Medi-Cal. Okay, there's no such thing as emergency Medi-Cal. People call all the time, oh, I'm having an emergency. Can you apply for emergency Medi-Cal? No, you have to wait in line just like everyone else. Now they'll go back retroactive, so it'll cover whatever emergency you were having at the time. But emergency Medi-Cal is basically for emergency related services at the emergency room. So you have to go to the ER to get help. Okay. And pregnancy related services. So it's for pregnancy and emergency related service. That's what restricted Medi-Cal is for. Now, limited Medi-Cal is basically full scope Medi-Cal minus the dental coverage.
Got it.
The key to the whole thing is that if you are in the Medi-Cal program and you fall in that category, Be religious about getting your redeterminations in. Be very cautious of your movements, of reporting your address, all the things. You got to really stay on top.
Yeah,
of
because
it.
your recertification is key to your continued eligibility, and it's always been like that. That's nothing new.
So that's going to bring up the next question. I think would be really important for people to know, and that's losing it, right? The possibility of losing it. This is kind of a two-part question, actually. So if you already have Medi-Cal, can I lose it and not be able to get it back? I think to kind of rephrase this question would be, what do you do? People get their Medi-Cal denied, wrongly, or clerical errors all the time. It happens. What should that next step be if you receive a letter in the mail saying that you no longer qualify for Medi-Cal?
Call us immediately.
Fair enough.
But other than that, you really got to dig in.
No, but seriously, if you're you've got a discontinuance notice and you've got a date on there, the effective and Medi-Cal always discontinues the last day of the month. So if they've got a date on there that they're impending and it's the last day of the month, then it's a real deadline. Now, a lot of times when your recertification comes up, they'll tell you they're imposing a deadline on like the 10th or something of the month. That's them just trying to prod you to get you to do what you need to do. But in reality, discontinuance notice, and it'll say discontinuance notice on it. Notice of action, it'll say your benefits are being discontinued whatever month at the end of that month. And if that's happening and your Medi-Cal is crucial to your survival, like you're on IHSS and you need your IHSS, honestly, you probably should get on the phone and call us so we can stop the discontinuance, address it, and make sure you have continued benefits. I don't know what else to tell you how to handle it. I could say call the Medi-Cal office immediately, but I don't know if they're going to even act upon your call after you waited for 2 hours on the phone and then they disconnected your call. Then you called back after waiting another 2 hours. And then the person you got was really nice and they took all your information down, but are they going to do anything about it?
I like to tell people that if you're going to call Medi-Cal or SSI, treat it like the DMV, but like worse. So, yeah. All right. So thank you for that breakdown. It's really, really helpful. And hopefully that brings some peace of mind to everybody who has either lost Medi-Cal in the past and had to do that battle to get it back, or, maybe you're at risk of losing it for some reason. You got a letter or whatever. There's peace of mind. Okay. Lisa.
If you call us prior to the action happening, we can most likely stop it from happening.
At least keep the benefits active until we get the
issue we address the issue at hand. Yeah, but it has to be prior to the action happening. And they're supposed to notify you 10 days prior. So you need to take action quick.
Yeah. Sitting on it is not in your best interest whatsoever, especially with all the activity that's going to be going on in January.
And don't wait till Friday to call us, because we might be on a Facebook Live or whatever we're doing. We won't be answering the phone because our offices are closed on Friday.
Fair enough. Okay. So I want to pin this next question for you guys. Curious to hear your thoughts, because we've talked about it already a little bit. However, for those who have come and gone, I think we should talk about the asset limits a little bit more. So with the upcoming changes, sorry, I have to change this every single time I make a banner. Okay, so assets limits are coming back. And so who do they actually apply to? So you tapped on this briefly earlier in the stream, but do you want to talk a little bit more about the upcoming asset change limits to 2026?
The asset limits starting January of 2026 will be $130,000 for a single individual, was it 65,000?
65,000 for each.
165
up to 10.
Up for a married couple, and then $65,000 for each person in that family unit.
Within your budget unit, and that's your tax household.
And then
the spousal impoverishment.
Yeah, there's
other asset levels for married couples who are applying under non-Magi traditional Medi-Cal under the spousal impoverishment provisions.
And then how the assets apply. Are they exempt, or are they counted? There's a lot of work into coming down to look at each individual situation and determining what the true asset value is for that individual, based on the regulations. So it would be impossible, even though they have limits, it would be hard to say, 80% of people make the asset limit, right? It's so customized, so personal, that's why we take our time and go through that analysis. But asset limits have been before, and that's what we do. We go through that, and we've developed that, and we really, I think our clients feel more empowered and rested. They put their head on their pillow at night knowing they have that information now, and what really counts, what doesn't really count, and the benefits are not in jeopardy. You know,
and
what
they're
I'm
not
saying?
dealing with Medi-Cal.
And they're not dealing with Medi-Cal. So
We are.
So just be very careful in understanding these regulations. Some of them we're still using the old ones from 2022 because they haven't rewritten them or updated them, so they're going to apply. And
they're using some regulations back to the 1990s
yeah, so
that are going to be reinstated. So
it's not a very simplistic answer to
nothing's
it.
set in stone.
Right. So you just have to really take everybody's individual situation, look at it, and really come up with the true asset value. Okay. So, it's really important, at least for this year, to really talk specific, not general, because most people, that's what they'll do. They'll talk general.
Yeah.
And Caleb, you had a question on here I want to be able to ask and say so we can address it. It says, why are people getting kicked off Medi-Cal when they still qualify? That's an excellent question. And you know what the reason is? Is because the county makes errors. And so it's important for you to understand that. So if your Medi-Cal gets discontinued or denied, don't take that as the final answer whatsoever, because honestly, probably 9 times out of 10, the county's made some kind of error in those cases. And additionally, I want to add is also if you're on share a cost type Medi-Cal and your share cost comes out really high and you think, oh gosh, I can't even use these benefits, and you just give up, don't. Reach out to us. Let us evaluate. We'll do that free of charge. We'll look at what the county decision was and tell you if it was correct or not. And probably more than 9 times out of 10, we can make a difference. And it's not that, it's just that sometimes there are multiple programs that somebody can be assessed under to qualify for Medi-Cal, determine that share cost. And sometimes Medi-Cal just doesn't take that extra step.
So what can Medi-Cal do to be better there? What is the leading issue with so many errors that happen? What's Medi-Cal missing right now?
It's education. They have such a high turnover rate in their counties that they're continually bringing in fresh talent that isn't, I think, properly trained in the regulations and really get to look at the client in an in-depth way because their caseloads are off the charts. So errors are going to occur because you're losing experienced people. Yeah, there may be 1 or 2 people with 20 years experience, but they've done CalFresh, they've done all the other Medi-Cal programs, and now they've been reassigned to Medi-Cal. And, it's frustrating, but.
And then there's a lack of accountability. I mean, some people are still working from home. It's really crazy. And I don't know, just a few years ago, Medi-Cal, the Department of Medi-Cal, that handled all the Medi-Cal applications, they combined themselves with the CalFresh department. So now if you're a Medi-Cal worker, you're also a CalFresh worker. And they're 2 separate programs that have completely total different regulations. So to expect someone to be a master at one and then throw another, program in there that's just as difficult. I mean, honestly, I don't give advice on CalFresh because I don't have that experience. Now, one of my best friends handles a lot of the training for the counties throughout the state. So we hear what's going on. And when they do the training, especially through COVID, the workers weren't even required to turn on their cameras. So, they're training with not even knowing if the person's really even paying attention. I mean, and it's still like that. They're not required to turn their cameras on.
That's wild. I mean, it's that's kind of the same issues we bring up a lot about IHSS. Even social workers, like trained social workers going to homes. At the end of the day, a lot of the issues do stem from the lack of training. The system itself that's in place, the rules are not, bad, but it's the imperfect people trying to make it work. And so it is frustrating. I agree with you guys with all of these programs. And Medi-Cal, unfortunately, is kind of like the forefront of all these programs. It's going to be, the leading factor to a lot of these other bridges that come, right? So all starts and ends with Medi-Cal at the end of the day, really. So Monique mentioned here, yes, they make errors all the time. Every year they take my daughter off and they always say, sorry, we didn't see that. She's back on. You know what, Monique, thank you for sharing that. We see that a lot with families who have kiddos who are adopted. So a lot of kiddos who are on AAP, they're on a different aid code from what I'm told. And so a lot of times with SSI, IHSS, Medi-Cal, for some reason, they get a lot of inconsistencies throughout the years. Is that something that you guys have seen as well with people who are adopted?
Yeah.
We don't really deal with that population a lot, to be honest with you, Caleb.
True. You're right. There is another question that I wanted to bring up before we run out of time here. Jessica says, well, assets include things like CalAble accounts.
Well, CalAble accounts are not counted. They're exempt.
Okay, because I had a question about that too. So
just to briefly mention about assets. Okay, there are three ways in which they categorize an asset. One is exempt, where it's not counted. Of course, then non-exempt, and then also the unavailable. And certain assets are considered unavailable, exempt, and non-exempt. And an able account is considered an exempt account. Gotcha.
Okay, I did not know that. So thanks, Lisa. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I get that question a lot, and I usually say I am not sure. I got to find out, and I'm glad I finally found out. So, okay, so I want to make sure I give you guys just enough time to get prepped and ready for Miss Nicole's stream. So if there's anybody watching today who speaks Spanish and you want to get the same information with Lisa and Vinny today in Spanish with Nicole and Myra, they will be joining them at 1 o'clock. Same stream, so stick around, everybody. Jessica, thank you for being here, and thank you to everybody else in the comments who, unfortunately, we didn't get to everybody's comments today, so I apologize. But lots of upcoming changes to Medi-Cal, but nothing to fret or worry. We have experts here like Lisa and Vinny. So if you have any Medi-Cal questions that come up, or you are needing some help navigating the share of cost conversation like we talked about, give them a call. I'll pin your website again here. And on the website, they can fill out an intake form and almost book a call directly, correct?
Yeah, they can schedule their call right after they submit the assessment. And please be as detailed as possible on your assessment. That helps us escalate your request.
Perfect. Well, thank you both for coming by today. Is there anything else that we want to maybe go over, or any last send-off words before you guys get ready with Nicole?
Don't take what the county gives you as the end results. Don't give up, be tenacious, and continue to be that advocate for your loved one.
And you also have somebody like us, a resource to bounce things off. Even if you want to attempt it on your own, we're more than glad to support you and give you the right direction to go. So just because we represent people doesn't mean we're going to turn a blind eye to people that just need a little bit of information to be powerful.
I love it. You guys are awesome. Thank you again for jumping on today. I really appreciate it. And again, everybody, check them out on their YouTube. Go ahead and check out their website. They have a lot of great information on there. And if you ever just want to give them a call about questions that you have, Lisa said, please fill out an intake form with sharing as much information. I'm sorry?
It's called a Medi-Cal assessment. It's on the home page of our website.
Perfect. So do that. If you guys have any Medi-Cal questions, go to their website, fill out that assessment, and Lisa and Vinny will help you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, stick around 1 o'clock for Nicole and Lisa, where Lisa is going to be speaking Spanish the whole time with Nicole. But no, so it would be great. So stick around. If you guys have any more questions or thoughts, you're welcome to message us directly here on Facebook or call our office. You're always welcome to get on my calendar. But I hope everybody enjoys their Friday. Lisa, Vinny, I hope you guys stay safe and I guess warm with that 80-degree weather. It's crazy. But
I have shorts
see you guys around.
Yeah.
I'm in layers right now, so I'm jealous. But well, thanks again, guys. I hope you have an awesome weekend. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.